The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Lifestyle. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Well, good morning and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke. This is where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, and wild world.
That's right, to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And I'm Nico and Haan.
And it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater, Florida. 65 degrees, cool and sunny for us. And I just want to make a note that if you could, pick up our Health Signals newsletter. Comes into your inbox twice a month, $10 a month, good stuff, clickable links. Everyone raves about the information in the Health Signals newsletter.
Yes, and please pick up our Primal Edge, over 310 cell-ready ingredients in liquid form, so it's easy to take. And, of course, it has the fulvic and humic acids that get the good stuff in.
That's right. Nature's miracle molecules that help keep us healthy. And we always love your questions. You can reach me at paige@tfnn.com.
Or Nico at tfnn.com.
And if you're up and at it, give us a call and join the conversation, 877-927-6648.
That's beautiful.
Yes, indeed. You know, we were taking a look. You know, the question is, I think we've pretty well established that a healthy diet means we get adequate protein. And
Yep.
you know, that's where the debate may fall. Adequate protein, some healthy fats, right?
Yep.
And sparse carbs. You know, carbs are kind of like little, better kept
Well,
to a minimum.
the other thing we also include is that we want to eat seasonally from our area. So something local,
and it
something
needs to be a
seasonal.
circadian, exactly.
Yeah,
It
so we're
needs
in
to be
rhythm.
a circadian match,
Right.
like foods that would grow based on where we're at. More and more, I think Nico and I have learned that importance. You know, we've talked about eating a banana in Boston in the winter is a mismatch. That's not going to be growing in Boston, so you're not going to be able to digest and utilize that food. Now, if you're on the equator, you might. But let's take a look at this article we found. These are photos that, according to the article produced by a yoga instructor, these photos prove how easy it is to get enough protein as a vegan.
And they
That
show
is
you a
a
nice plate here.
beautiful plate. Lots of color. I love it.
And this is something that, may be too much for me as far as volume is concerned on that particular plate. But probably if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, you probably eat that much.
Well, you do. I think you eat a little more food because you're trying to fill up. But my other thing is I want to make that point. Could we get that plate of food in the winter in central Canada?
Well, no. Not even
So
Central U.S.
are those, right.
Well, in Central U.S. we can because we get most of it from Chile or Mexico or from California.
We can get it because
Yeah.
our grocery stores
right.
do not obey the laws of nature. They do not feature foods that are in season.
Yeah.
They get whatever will bring money, and many of the foods we are picking up are attractive, but they're really not good for us at that particular time of the year. And one of the great sources of protein that is used by vegans are nuts and seeds. And indeed, you can get quite a bit of good healthy fat. We could question healthy fat PUFA. Nuts, or with the exception of a few of them, are a little heavier on the PUFA side. We'd
Right.
rather see saturated, and we'd rather see
omega-3.
monosaturated fats,
Right.
like in
Yeah. like in avocados and things like that. The other thing, too, is these are all seeds, as we've mentioned.
And what's the problem with seeds?
The problem with seeds, they're held in stasis, and those chemicals that hold them in stasis are very, very toxic to our body.
Enzyme inhibitors, exactly.
Yeah. The other thing, too, is the fats and the proteins in seeds, particularly, are hard to digest for our body. We just don't have the enzymes. Now, there are people that do have better enzymes with that, so if you're getting the protein from these types of things like Brussels sprouts and broccoli, then those are a little bit easier to digest. They don't have a lot of protein, however.
Right. With the exception of the hemp seed that's down there and the quinoa, the broccoli and the Brussels sprouts, you're going to have to eat a little bit more. But it is great to get some source of protein from these foods. The concern is, are they in season? Are they a good choice? I never think edamame is a good choice. You know why? I mean, edamame is soybean. And in this country, soybean is heavily genetically modified.
True.
It is not the fermented soybean that we hear about, how the Oriental cultures thrive on soy.
Right.
The soy that they dish up here in the U.S. is pasteurized soy milk, unfermented, and GMO. Doesn't sound like a health food to me, so I really cringe when people, chomp down on those at the sushi bars.
The other thing that comes to mind is that now you're using these foods, which are particularly good foods, and they are healthy and everything like that, that we want to make sure that this is not a staple.
Well, that's exactly right, Nico. Let's go back to that beautiful picture, the first picture, if you can scroll back. You could find me having that for lunch, right?
No doubt about it.
But not breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Not missing some true nutrient dense. Sally Fallon at the Weston A. Price has a great PowerPoint presentation where she compares the nutrient density of some of the foods that we believe are heavily nutrient dense in the carbohydrate world. Let's say the sweet potato or something like that.
What about iron?
Well, she compares it. Spinach. She compares the nutrient density of spinach to liver. There's absolutely no comparison.
Right.
I mean, 10 times more of all of the nutrition in the liver. So,
what about iron? I have a question in the producer's room.
Which of these are rich in iron? There's iron in a lot of fruits and vegetables, but I wouldn't say that any of these are particularly high in iron. Your high iron foods would be perhaps your spinach and your deep leafy greens.
Darker colors.
Your deep leafy greens. What I will tell you, your best food for iron is liver.
Not spinach.
No, exactly, exactly. But we want to say that I support people eating healthy foods and staying away from processed foods. But I do want to caution people that it is not my professional opinion that we're getting the right forms of protein in a vegan diet that we need long term. Short term for cleanses, I'm all for it, and I love doing it myself.
Yeah, but cleansing every day is probably not a good idea.
No.
The other thing too is
because we have to be rebuilding, and the best building blocks are found in animal foods.
Yeah, and a lot of these things are seed based. So if you're and they don't show wheat or rice on here, but that's going to be a staple for a vegan or a vegetarian for sure.
Well, they end up using that usually as the base for a lot of this food.
Right.
Most people would have that delicious salad thing with a thing of rice or something. So you're right. Well,
okay, we're up on a break here, so
we'll
stick around, folks. We'll be right back with this. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic nucleic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to the show. So before we were talking about that article that was showing that the vegetarians can get their protein, but we really kind of refute that and say it's very difficult.
It's challenging.
It's challenging. It's hard to digest. Here's another article from The Independent, and it says here vegetarians are less healthy than meat eaters. A controversial study has concluded. Despite drinking less, smoking less, and being more physically active than their carnivorous counterparts.
That's right. This comes from an article titled "Vegetarians Are Less Healthy and Have a Lower Quality of Life Than Meat Eaters." The study was conducted at the Medical University of Graz in Austria, and they found that a vegetarian diet, as characterized by a low consumption of saturated fat and cholesterol, due to a higher intake of fruits, vegetables, and whole grain products, appeared to carry elevated risks of cancer, allergies, and mental health problems such as depression and anxiety.
Yeah, this study was done in Austria from the Austrian Health Interview Survey to examine the dietary habits and lifestyles differences between the meat eaters and the vegetarians.
Yeah, so, they had like 1,320 subjects, and they were matched according to age, sex, and socioeconomic status. And there were 330 vegans, 330 that ate meat, but still ate a lot of fruits and vegetables, 300 normal eaters, but that ate less meat, and 330 on a more meat-heavy diet. And they found that the vegetarians consumed less alcohol and had lower body mass indexes, but were still in a poorer state of physical and mental health overall. Wow.
So one of the things that we find when we are talking about this sort of thing, switching to a vegetarian or a vegan style diet, people are passionately wanting to be healthy.
Absolutely.
And they're in a state where they think they're not healthy, so they're going to make a switch of some kind. This is what first drove me into the vegetarians when and the type of eating, the macrobiotic eating that I was doing in the 60s. This made me switch back to eating meat. It made me go into the health food stores and trying to find good food. It made me look at all these different studies during the 80s, the 40-30-30 diet, then of course the 90s, the zone diet, and then of course they came out with the Dr. Sears, I think it was, that came.
Right, but how about the Pritikin diet?
Which one?
The Pritikin diet.
Oh, yeah. So I went through a lot
carb-heavy.
of these diets, and not until I switched over to eating more really good meat. Meat that is, the food for the cows is their own natural food. They go out and find it.
And again, maybe a lot of it is because you've gotten more local and more
That
from
I have,
knowing
too.
the farmer and where you're getting your food.
Right.
So, yeah.
But it's interesting. We all want to be healthy, and that's the key to this. And this is why we're exploring this, folks. I don't want to put down any vegans or vegetarians. If you're doing fine, you can keep on doing
But
what
if you're
you're
having
doing.
health challenges, and I do see that, and the anxiety and the cancer and so forth, if you're not getting the building blocks to rebuild, then you are actually in a catabolic state, and many times we'll see that. I also see a lot of vegans and vegetarians that, in their efforts to satisfy their hunger and so forth, maybe consume a bit too much fruit, and then they're getting way too much sugar,
Yeah.
I think, based on the other things. So let's finish up.
Well,
It concludes, the study has shown that Austrian adults who consume a vegetarian diet are less healthy in terms of cancer, allergies, and mental health disorders, and they have a lower quality of life and also require more medical treatment. This is per this study. Graz, Austria has always been an area where a lot of research has gone on. Dr. Broda Barnes, the brilliant man who, thyroid doctor, and heart disease, he spent almost every summer for about 30 or 40 years going to Graz, Austria, because that is one area. Austrians are very particular about everything. Everything is to the number. And he would go there every summer to do autopsies because they require detailed autopsy reports.
That's very
And
interesting.
so I think this is, the fact that this research was done there, I'm sure it, still has that same kind of.
Another interesting thing they say here, participants who ate less meat also had poorer health practices, such as avoiding attending doctor's appointments for preventative checkups.
And they say, and measures such as vaccines, the author found. In other words, I think, we think of vegans and vegetarians maybe being more naturally, maybe more granola, hippies, that's what but they had to slide that in there.
I don't see that myself.
Well-
I think people who are vegetarians are really concerned about their health, so I see them going to the doctor more.
Well, I
Maybe
think
I'm
they end
wrong.
up having a little more health problems. Sometimes I see someone said heightened anxiety stemmed from a vegetarian diet could lead to high blood pressure.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think to err on the side of variety and that the foods are there and there's nutrients that we need that we often don't get in the right form from eliminating a food group. So I tend to say that. Don't get me wrong, I love fruits and vegetables. I just know that the nutrient density that I'm looking for is found in some special animal foods.
Yeah, the other day, Ellen and I had, she came home a little bit late. I was rushing around, so we had some leftovers, and we had some ribeye, and we had an old container of some ribs, and we just sliced the ribeye very nice and thin, all cold, little soy sauce, mustard, that type of thing, and that's all we ate. And afterwards, I got up and I says, not only do I feel good, but I feel so light. And that's usually not what you would think of. You think meat eaters drags you down, and you think, well, you're eating fruits and vegetables, all nice and light and airy. But it's actually the reverse for me.
I think that I made the point to you earlier that maybe we have it upside down. We should eat raw meats or near raw meats, fresh meats, because they come packaged with their enzymes to be digested.
And they
On
also
the other
come
hand,
and with the fat, too.
right, but
Yeah.
the enzymes to digest
Yeah.
it, that's the key point I'm
Okay.
making. The vegetables, on the other
Oh,
hand,
I see what you mean, yeah.
when we eat them raw, which most people think is the healthiest way to do it, is a rather stressor on our
Very
digestive
much so.
system. We do not have cellulose. We don't naturally have the enzymes to break down the walls where many of the nutrients are. And that's why so many Tibetan and Chinese doctors will tell their patients, eat cooked vegetable, because the vegetable vitamins and minerals and so forth are still there. But
yeah, it is an upside-down world,
absorbable.
because you also think, okay, I'm eating some raw meat, and that's very hard to digest, but it's actually very easy.
No, completely the opposite.
Completely the opposite.
Raw meat is the easiest to digest because the enzymes are not, it's just like raw milk.
Yeah.
I mean, pasteurized milk is hard to digest. It's not even in the same class.
Right.
Raw milk, on the other hand, has all the enzymes that are there to digest it. This is interesting. Before we go on this break, I want to finish this. The study's author has already defended the research against their work because some people have claimed that it was simply an advertisement for the meat industry.
Right.
You know, if it had been vegetarians, they would have said the produce industry was attacking it. But the study coordinator told the Austrian Times, "We have already distanced ourselves from this claim as it is an incorrect interpretation of our data. We did find that vegetarians suffer more from certain conditions like asthma, cancer, and mental illnesses than people that eat meat as well, but we cannot say what is the cause and what is the effect. There needs to be further study, as all studies end. All studies. There needs to be further study.
Yeah, it's good.
Then you do your own study. We'll stick with us. We're going to show you some more good information after this break.
We'll be right back, folks.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
So how about this? This will make your heart feel good. Babies who get more cuddles seem to have their genetics changed for years afterwards.
Yeah, this is a study from 2017 that can actually affect babies at a molecular level, and the effects can last for years.
You know, this really breaks my heart when you think of so many, children, perhaps orphans and so forth, that just don't get that hug time.
Yeah, I remember seeing a film that was talking about this years ago, and there was a country, and I don't remember what country, one of the European countries, in the baby's room where the babies are. They have nurses that go and pick each one up and spend time with them, put it down, go to the next one, to get that cuddling in there, that human touch.
That'd probably be a great charity, if there was an area where there was an orphanage. Go in and just be a cuddler.
Yeah, well, I think the opposite, too, when I think of children who are abused and children who are put into their room and lock the door and you don't come in, you don't have any, or, they imprison them, these types of things. It just shows you this is a mild consideration here. This can last for years, and just the mild cuddling that would be natural for your newborn baby lasts through the whole lifetime, genetically changing them
that's
to
what
a better person.
This research says. This actually affects the gene expression. We've always shared with our listeners that genes do not control your destiny. The epigenetics do. How the environment impacts the genes. It is the environment that changes it. So an environment of not enough skin-to-skin contact obviously has the power to affect these genes, and the genes that are impacted are the methylation genes. And the team from the University of British Columbia in Canada emphasizes that it's still very early for this research, and they're not exactly sure what's causing it. But these children that do not get this physical contact are more distressed at a young age and end up with changes, that affect the genes.
Yeah, it gives scientists some useful insights. It says here, there's been quite a few studies I remember on this, so I don't think they're right about this. I think that they don't know what's causing the change. Give me a break. It's the human contact. It's that electrical energy passed from the mother to the child, or the father to the child,
right,
or even somebody who's a surrogate to the child. We know that in the olden days, if the mother couldn't breastfeed, a neighbor, a friend, a relative would breastfeed the child.
Yes, a wet nurse.
A wet nurse. So
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, these things have been done, for generations. They're done because it makes the baby a healthier baby. This is why we do these things. And for thousands of years, we've always had the baby on the breast, touching the bare skin of the mother, getting that
skin to skin.
contact. And now we live in a world where half of the world is not doing this anymore.
Nope, it's very sterile. The researchers found that DNA methylation differences between high contact children and low contact children at 5 specific DNA sites, 2 of which were within the genes, 1 related to the immune system and 1 to the metabolic system. DNA methylation also acts as a marker for normal biological development and the processes that go along with it. And it can be influenced by external environmental factors.
Then there was this epigenetic age, the biological aging of blood and tissue. This marker was lower than expected in the kids who hadn't had much contact as babies and had experienced more distress in their early years compared with their actual age.
I think that's a key word, distress, because a child not held or cuddled has no way of really communicating what it's feeling. So you can only imagine what kind of level of distress that might feel, not having something that you need.
Yeah, one of the team members said, in children, we think slower epigenetic aging could reflect this favorable development process.
This less favorable development.
Excuse me, yes, of course, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Similar findings were spotted in a study from 2013 looking at how much care and attention young rats were given at a very early age.
Yeah. So yeah, really, guys, the gap between epigenetic age and chronological age, this has been linked to health problems in the past, but again, it's too soon to really draw the conclusions, the scientists say. There's that same clause.
Yeah.
But of course, it's well accepted that human touch is good for us and our development in so many ways. And there'll be further research on this. And this was published in Development in Psychopathology. So there So have you hugged your kid today?
Yeah, and have you hugged
times.
anybody today? It's just not children, folks. When I get a hug from my wife, there's something really going on there.
That's right.
You know, so, I mean, we hug each other, you know, when we see each other, always. It's just a thing that we do because this is what really charges me and levels me back out, I think. I need those things. So touching, you know, between men, we don't have a lot of touching, usually shaking the hands, highbrow, you know.
But you see, like in more demonstrative cultures, you know, the Italians, the men greet, they hug and kiss.
But you also see it in sports, like in jiu-jitsu. When I go to jiu-jitsu, man, we're the handshake, the hug buddies, you know.
Yeah.
So there's traditions in these things, and these traditions are meaningful to us. And our, I mean, just greeting people in societies is very interesting. How people first meet. You know, and you have, I see the thing with the two armies and then the generals come and talk to each other, you know. That's one type of meeting. But when you meet a stranger, and if you go to a foreign country most of the time, you meet a stranger, you knock on the door, maybe asking for directions, you're going to get an invite in usually for a cup of tea.
Nice,
in
yes.
most countries. In the United States, a little less. But if
No,
you're
most people won't answer the door.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But there are neighborhoods like our neighborhood. If I knocked on a door, you know, it's much more welcoming than people that have not seen me, probably. So.
Yeah, but there's a difference in the permissibility of touching after a certain age. There seems to be. Certain countries have more distance. I would think maybe France is more of a reserved country in terms of touch. I don't know. That's
well, they
my
have the double
impression.
kiss on the side. In Holland, we have the 3 kisses, kiss, kiss, and go back to the first one.
Oh, yeah?
You know, so each culture has a different, you know, we have, of course, in the Asian countries, the Far East, we have the bowing. And, you know, respectful bowing. This is nice, really nice traditions.
Sure.
Here now we have the fist bump and the elbow bump when you have the flu. You know, we have all these different kinds of things. High fives. You know, in fact, I saw a picture. You know, this guy says on the paper it says the guy was giving high fives. He was giving low fives. They even call it high five when the hand is down here. I thought that was strange too. But we have a lot of ways of touching each other, and they're all important to us. They're symbolic in a sense, but also because of this baby article, we can see there's that electricity that passes through, a direct connection. So when we get close to people, the auras are kind of touching. This is what you always tell me, right?
Well, exactly. But the truth is, you and I are like bumping up on each other. Our auras are huge. Our electrical fields, our true bodies, which are the electromagnetic and spiritual bodies, are bigger than this room.
Yeah, makes sense.
We're a pretty big deal.
We're a big deal for sure.
We're pretty big
well,
deals.
We're reaching out right now. You know, and I hope you folks stick around. We'll come up on a break here.
Yeah, because when we come back, we're going to share with you the largest organ we never knew we had.
Ooh.
And I bet you don't know what it is.
Not
but
just
if
for
you
guys?
stick with us,
No. We'll be right back,
both
folks.
of us have it.
Okay.
Both of us have this large organ.
We'll be back. I know.
Okay. See you in just after the break.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated folic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back to the show. This article that we're on now is talking about the largest organ we never knew we had. And when I think of the largest organ I ever had, I always think of the skin. Mm-hmm. But what we're talking about is something inside the body. Mm-hmm. And this is what I call kind of the second skin, in a way, isn't it? It's the thing that connects our body all together.
It's like a connective tissue, and this was a study published in Scientific Reports on Tuesday suggests that a previously unknown organ has been found. This new organ is the largest by volume among all 80 organs, if what the researchers found is in fact considered an organ. So really, what some people were asking, the new organ is explained as a thin layer of dense connective tissue throughout the body, sandwiched just under our skin and within the middle layer of every visceral organ. The organ also made up all the fascia, or the thin mesh of tissue separating every muscle and all the tissue around every vein and artery, from largest to smallest. So what initially seemed to be a solid, dense connective tissue layer was actually a complex network of fluid-filled cavities. They're strong and flexible, yet so tiny and undiscerning that they escape the attention of the brightest scientific minds for generations.
Yeah, this is an amazing organ. Of course, they include the fascia in this. And when I think of the fascia tissue, this is the stuff that surrounds all your muscles to protect it.
I like to explain it like the skin on the chicken. You know, when you see on a chicken breast, that is your fascia. It's very tight and very tough to cut.
Yep.
You know.
Very strong material, in fact.
Holds us together. We are a sack of water.
Yeah, and the other thing that happens is you stay in bed too long, then you get stiff, and what's making you stiff is this fascia tissue is growing all the time. Mm-hmm. Think of when you get a wound, and what comes in is that extent of the fascia tissue that repairs everything. So fascia tissue is really important. It's important in lengthening your muscles. So when you're stretching it, you're creating a nice elastic band. So when you're at rest, it kind of goes into that middle area. Because when we're doing activities, these things tighten down.
Exactly.
And if we let it tighten and keep tightening, you don't stretch it, what happens? It kind of stays in that position, and you get tighter, and it's hard to move. So the stretching part, and some of these natural movements that we do in our primal lifestyle, like rolling around on the mats in jiu-jitsu, or just taking a leisurely jog, things like that. This is what keeps that whole system moving.
Oh, yeah. I saw a lady the other day. I went to the Safety Harbor Spa,
Yeah.
and she was in the pool, and she was just walking in the pool, but doing like a little jig. She was so cute.
Yeah.
And she goes, I've been coming for 20 years here. And, she was probably somewhere in her 70s. And I said, well, great. And then she says, and I'm on no pain meds. I have no pain.
That's cool.
Because she's moving every day. But getting back to this article, I think I've shared with you all that the fascia is truly the system that holds us together. We are muscles, bones, a bag of water, 70% water, and this holds us together. But those of us in the holistic health world have known from other cultures that the fascia is most likely the home of the acupuncture meridians, where the electrical signals go. And in fact, from this article, they explain that this interstitium could explain many of modern medicine's mysteries, often dismissed by the establishment. Remember, mainstream medicine doesn't even believe in acupuncture meridians, although that is a system of medicine that's been around for thousands and tens of thousands of years. By the establishment, it is either silly or explainable by other phenomenon. So if you take acupuncture, the author says, that energetic healing jolt may actually be traced to the interstitium, which it is. Researcher, it is.
Yeah,
That's where the meridian lines run through the fascia.
Right. And the other thing that this kind of does, it acts kind of like a shock absorber in your system. So this is covering all your organs, it's covering everything, and it protects everything. So it's very, you don't want it to get stiff, you want it nice and pliable. That's why movement is so important. And this is why we only have sleep for 7, 8 hours, because you start sleeping longer than that, then everything starts to tighten. This is why it's a good idea when you get out of bed, you stretch a little bit. Just like, if you see a cat or a dog get up, what do they do every single
stretch.
time?
That's
Every
right.
single time, folks. So we no longer do the things that our ancestors did, like sitting on the floor, getting up 100 times a day. So we have lost a lot of the things that we naturally do.
That's right.
Time to get back down on the floor, I say.
Yeah.
I would love to have a room in my house with no furniture and just a nice mat
Just
in
to
there.
play.
Just to play.
Right. So also this space, this interstitium, this largest organ by volume, is in direct communication with the lymphatic system as the origin of lymph fluid, which is, I call, the other second circulatory system. Many people are not aware that we have two circulatory systems, the blood system and the lymph system. And so this interstitium system of fluid-filled backroads could explain the metastasis of cancer cells and how they spread from organ to organ. This might be part of the mechanism,
That's pretty interesting right there. And we can see why it's the largest organ, because before I thought, well, the skin is the largest organ, and the skin is an organ, of course, because things pass through it, and that's what happens here too. But just think of your body tenfold, because now we're covering everything inside in a 3D manner. So we have probably 2, 3, 4 times as much of this type of tissue than we do actually have skin tissue. So it's a very interesting thing.
So I think this is this article goes on more like a story of these researchers working together, but I think it's important for us to see that just like we found out that the brain had lymph tissue in it. I mean, new discoveries, things are coming out that I believe maybe people already knew existed, but they didn't want to announce that they existed. I mean, for years, acupuncture, Oriental medicine doctors and the system that they use, using the meridian system, which we know we've always said it resides and travels along the fascia, but now we know it's this interstitium.
Well, we have that just in the trigger points, when you get a massage, and you can do it yourself. There's a lot of trigger points around the body, and when you know where they are, they can really help relieve pain. They spur on all these chemicals that make us feel good. So, yeah, it's huge.
So, in fact,
in many ways.
Exactly, it's true. And I'd like to go now to another article, and we'll cover it more. We got a little bit of time, but have you wondered what the nutrient was that saved us from extinction? We've been talking quite a bit about the grand solar minimum and the coming colder weather. So what was it, a nutrient that saved us from extinction? Because about 150,000 years ago, the human race almost became extinct.
Probably on the verge again.
Yeah, the glacial ice was covering the globe. Food sources from the dry lands disappeared. There weren't all those pretty vegetables that we saw on that vegan plate growing. The entire human race was reduced to nearly just a few hundred people. And everyone alive today are descended from those very few survivors. Stick with us. We're going to take a short break, and we'll learn more about surviving the cold. Pick up some Primal Edge. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
There are 5 reasons traders and investors fail to spot bear markets. It's a set of 5 very specific patterns that have preceded every bear market during the last 130 years. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability and the #1 market timer in the nation as ranked by Timer Digest for the S&P 500 for the last 3, 6, and 12 months. You see, timing is everything. And on Wednesday, April 11th at 5 p.m., I'm going to share with subscribers exactly how to time the next bear market. Look, the last 3 bears averaged a decline of 49%, which means you've got to earn 82% just to make your money back. Wouldn't it be easier to avoid the next bear market altogether? Sure, countless experts tell you that markets can't be timed, but what they're really saying is that they can't time the markets. So let me teach you how. Sign up for Mastering Probability by coming to the homepage of TFNN.com to begin your 30-day money-back guarantee trial membership and learn the exact tools that I use to time the markets. And if you can't attend live, don't worry, because the workshop will be archived on your members page for the next 30 days. Don't let that next bear market eat your porridge. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
No matter where you're listening to TFNN programming, you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones, iPads, and Android devices, located in the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and call-in talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com, educating investors.
For years.
Yes, there is. Welcome back, folks. Before the break, we were saying that everyone alive today was descendants from just a few survivors.
Right.
In that terrible ice age, these primitive survivors found their way to the only place on Earth that could support human life, Africa. They foraged for marine animals around the coast. They survived on a diet heavy in shell and cold water fish.
That's right. That's exactly right. And as Jack Kruse says, it was the oyster that enabled our brains to stay strong and grow big to begin with. Mm-hmm. So, even before this ice age, I think that the diet of mollusks and so forth, the shellfish, rich in nutrients, zinc and minerals and all of these kind of these survivors with the essential fats that their bodies couldn't make, but desperately needed to survive and thrive. And to this day, we still need these same fats. Yet most doctors don't understand the fundamental facts of human evolution. But I really think it's important for us to make sure we're getting, mostly from our food, the essential omega-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, land animals have that too, especially if they're eating their own food.
That's exactly right. Grass-fed beef is a great source.
And if they're domesticated,
of omega-3.
then they change that. I read a great article the other day on the new salmon fishing up in Alaska that they're doing, and these things are being held in these nets. And they have this feed pellet that they put in them, and the feed pellet has, you know, some vegetable and stuff, and soybeans, a lot of soybeans.
Since when do you find a salmon chowing down in a soybean farm?
They don't, of course. And this is the wrong food. And also, when you hold them in nets, no matter how sparse the net is, it is still a jail. So when you're in jail, you're not going to have access to your natural food. That means you're going to be fed what they give you. Our jails are the same way. Human beings are not healthy in jail because we need to be free.
So what is this, Chief? Omega-3, it's docosahexaenoic acid, or DHA. It protects your eyes from damage that may occur in the future. They say that DHA preconditions our photoreceptor cells and special neurons in the retina to survive from injuries.
Yeah, so we're talking about the omega-3 fats here, and these fats did more than keep the human race alive. They helped our primal ancestors develop clear vision for life.
Yeah, Dr. Al Sears actually says, in other words, DHA acts like a vaccine. It provides protection against a future injury to the retina or other part of the eye. That's fascinating. When rats were given DHA before oxidative stress struck, the DHA protected against the damage that usually would occur in the eye.
Yeah, researchers found that DHA also protects eyes from damage that may occur in the future. They said that DHA preconditions photoreceptor cells, special neurons. Yeah.
But I really think here are some things that are confirmed benefits of omega-3s for you, because studies show that eating more fish high in omega-3s slash the risk of dry eye syndrome. So many people have dry eyes, and their eyes are irritated even from, glaring at screens all the time too. It's up to 70%. Yeah. And lower levels of DHA and EPA, another omega fat, are linked to glaucoma.
I find it interesting that it protects against future injury. And it says here the retina, but I'm sure it's for everything.
Well, we're seeing a decrease in the incidence of macular degeneration by over 50% by getting the omega-3s. I also believe that lutein and zeaxanthin and astaxanthin, which are the pigments, the highly pigmented phytochemicals that are in the foods that these highly pigmented fish such as salmon eat. So, it was our primal ancestors. They were settled along coastlines, rivers, and lakes. There was a reason. They had easy access to plenty of wild fish and animals, and they got plenty of DHA in their
Yeah, and I think
diet.
It's natural for us to be along the shore. Have you ever seen the picture of the globe with the lights, where the lights are, and you look, and they're all around the coast?
Right.
Of every country. So this is where we naturally want to be. We want to live near the sea. Being near the sea is a great thing.
So make sure you're getting your healthy seafood and your DHA-rich foods, even the ones that are grown with grass-fed animals, so you can stay healthy and be a survivor.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the next show, folks.
Have
Thanks
a great
lot.
weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his Opening Call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the Opening Call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.